Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing a game that has been around for a little bit now, but only recently made its way onto the Nintendo Switch, and that game is Crypt of the Serpent King. Ooh. But today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do my best at kind of just reviewing the game and letting everybody know what it's about, what to expect if you were to purchase it, and then at the end I'll still talk about whether or not I believe it's worth it at its price and whether or not I regret it. So we'll still talk about that at the end, but overall it's just going to be a little bit different. I think Crypt of the Serpent King kind of needs some leeway here. So let's get right into it. So if you haven't played Crypt of the Serpent King, it is the most simple dungeon crawler you can imagine. The goal of the game is to collect a certain number of keys on each floor, and once you get all of those keys, you will be able to unlock the boss door to fight the boss on that floor. Now, while you're trying to get all these keys, you're going to run into enemies. Well, you're going to run into one type of enemy on each floor, and you're going to run into chests with food that heal you. You're going to run into chests with gold that you can use to buy different weapons, and you're going to run into chests that will give you arrows for your bow once you unlock it. Now, when you defeat enemies, you will gain experience. Now, this experience can be used after you die, so in between your lives, and experience points can be used to level up your character. There are 3 different ways to spend your experience points. One is to increase the amount of attack you do, the second is to decrease the amount of damage you take, and the third is to increase your speed. Now, I mentioned gold, so in between levels you can use the gold you've gained during that level to upgrade your weapons. Now, there are like 4 melee weapons, and I think there's 2 ranged weapons. Really, the main thing you want, and sadly it kind of breaks the game, is a bow. Once you get that, the game becomes very, very easy. So now back to the floors. So there's 7 different floors. I think you start on the first floor with, you gotta collect like 8 keys, I wanna say, and then I think the last floor has like 14 keys. So really, that's the game. You're just going around collecting these keys, trying not to die, and trying to get down to the last floor to fight the Serpent King. So now that you know what the game is about and what to expect, let's talk about some gameplay first. If you've used an axe or a sword or a bow in Oblivion, you've basically played this game. The enemies are extremely easy to predict, so I'm trying to think of something else gameplay-wise to talk about, but that really is it. So next up, we're going to talk about the graphics, and really there's nothing much to say about the graphics because you're probably watching gameplay right now, and that's it. That's the graphics. It looks bad. It didn't age well. Oblivion didn't age well. This didn't age well. So yeah, what you see is what you get. That's it. So next thing we're going to talk about is the soundtrack, and this music, or I guess the soundtrack, is ear-grating. It's literally music just looped when an enemy gets near you or is in your sight. And nowadays, whenever we hear music like that, we're so used to looking around, looking for enemies. And at first, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna look around. You're expecting a jump scare, basically. That's what it sounds like. You're expecting a jump scare. You're gonna look around, and eventually you're gonna realize that that's just the music. So it's funny because you'll be walking around later on. Once you get to later floors, you'll start to get used to the music. You'll be walking around, and this music will come on, and you just... Another thing is the sound of the chest. There's this really annoying squeaking sound. Or do I open them up and just deal with it? I ended up dealing with it for a while, and then it just got too much, and I started just skipping the chest because it was just freaking annoying. Yeah, I could have turned the volume down, I guess, but man, those chests are just something else. That's a sound effect that'll haunt me for life. So now you kind of know what to expect if you were to purchase Crypt of the Serpent King. Basically, what I said is everything to do with this game. There's really nothing else. This game is super simple, and if I'm being honest, it seems like a game where the couple kids in the game development class made it for like a school project. Then they figured, hey, we can make some money off this, so they put it on console, and I mean, good for them if that is true, but I don't know. It's just, it seems very undone. But it also seems like it is done, and that's the whole point. It's literally just a randomly generated dungeon crawler, which is fine, but it's just really bad looking. It just plays way too simply. So let's talk about price and whether or not I believe it's worth it or not. So the game is $2 or $3, I believe. It's somewhere in there. It's extremely cheap, and while it is super cheap, I would not recommend buying this game unless you're kind of in it for the meme, I guess. Like, then it might be worth it. And don't get me wrong, I actually had a weirdly decent time with this game. Like, I somewhat enjoyed it, but I still wouldn't recommend it. You can put your $2 or $3 somewhere way better. Yeah, I mean, it's a game. It's a game. If it gets down to $1, it might be worth it to some people, but overall, it's not. Spend your money somewhere else. It's bad. It's just bad. So don't. Okay, so now that you guys all know what this game is about and what to expect, let's get on to today's shout out. And I asked you guys on Twitter a question. I believe it was, what was your most anticipated game of the summer? And we had 7 people reply to that question. And the winner of the shout out is at Orange Donut. Thank you so much for replying. I really appreciate you answering the question, and I really appreciate all the other people partaking in the question because I like doing these shout outs. It's cool. So thank you, Orange Donut, for answering the question, and I really hope that game that you're excited for ends up being worth it. So that just about wraps up today's video. So I just want to ask you guys, have you played Crypt the Serpent King? If you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. If you haven't played it and have any questions, leave it down in the comments. I respond right away. I will answer any question to prevent somebody buying this game unless they want to do it for fun and for the laughs. And if you guys like this video, leave a heads down thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all next time.